And welcome to another episode of Hazardous Verbal Waste. I am your host, Shiro Chan. Today is Sunday, August 11th, 2019. News is a little light this week, but we got some cool stuff to go over, so let's get right down to it, shall we? In Yu-Gi-Oh! News, the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championships is happening this weekend in Berlin, Germany. And if you haven't been watching yet, there are several ways that you can follow the tournament as it progresses and root for your favorite deck. I will include those ways in the show notes. In the meantime, let me know in the comments or the various other ways that you can contact the show how you think the tournament will go and what your thoughts are on what has transpired so far. That's pretty much all we have for Yu-Gi-Oh! News this week. On to the next segment. In Pokemon news, Pokemon Masters, a beginner's guide. The latest game from the Pokemon Company and DNA, Pokemon Masters is somewhat of a departure from the normal Pokemon games. Very much a game designed for phones, Pokemon Masters is still a lot of fun with complex game mechanics as well as that all-important collector's mentality. The game releases officially in September, but if you live in Canada or are a little sneaky, you can play it today. First, what is Pokemon Masters about? The story mode has you play as a young trainer coming to Paseo to compete in the PML, the local battle league. Unlike previous Pokemon games, instead of working to collect various Pokemon, you instead need to collect various trainers and their signature Pokemon, also known as sync pairs. Combat play involves creating teams of 3 of these sync pairs and battling with those teams. Getting started is pretty simple. Once you have downloaded the game, you have to go through a sign-in process, and once you have your Poryphone and your Pikachu, you're ready to go. Gameplay for the first few hours of the game is kind of on rails, as it walks you through all the mechanics of the game, showing you combat mechanics and leveling processes. There is an in-game store with 3 main types of currency. Free gems and coins are earned through gameplay, while premium gems are purchased with real money through in-app purchases. Most things in the stores are purchasable with free gems and coins, while some of the trainers need it to be purchased with premium coins. Some items in the store, such as certain weekly trainers, can be purchased with either type of gem, but will require less premium gems than free gems to purchase. There is a lot more to this game I've not covered here, though I will bring you all more information once the game has released and I've had a chance to play through the starting levels. That's all I have for Pokemon news this week. On to the next segment. Before we get to our next segment, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everybody, I really do hope you love Hazardous Verbal Waste. Did you know that you can actually get paid just for listening to this podcast? I know, it sounds insane, but it's true. We just discovered this free new app called Podcoin, and it literally pays you to listen to podcasts. Here's how it works. You listen to podcasts, and you earn Podcoin while you listen. Then you turn that Podcoin in for gift cards at places like Amazon or Starbucks, or if you're a good person, you could even donate that Podcoin to charity. The more you listen, the more you earn. So here's what you do. Download the app right now on iPhone or Android, and I have a special code for you. Simply use our code HAZARDOUS, and you'll get 300 Podcoin just for signing up. And if you listen to enough of us on there, you can get a cappuccino at Starbucks or an Amazon gift card on us. So go ahead and go listen to this podcast, or virtually any podcast on Podcoin, and sign up with code HAZARDOUS. I swear it'll change the way you listen to podcasts. In gaming news, Nintendo Switch Pro, everything you need to know. There have been whisperings that Nintendo has been working on a more powerful version of the Switch. Nintendo hasn't confirmed the existence of such a console, however, they didn't confirm the existence of the Switch Lite or the new Switch model for a long time either. Fortunately, there's plenty of information out there to make people think it is indeed coming. First question is, what is the Switch Pro? Last year, the Wall Street Journal released an article regarding future Nintendo Switch versions. The article stated that Nintendo was working on 2 new Switch versions. The internet has speculated that one of those versions could be a more powerful version of the Switch and dubbed it the Switch Pro. Since then, Nintendo has revealed the new Switch model and the Switch Lite. Given Nintendo's past practices, the company may very well be working on creating more Switch versions. If a Switch Pro is in the making, it would likely have a more powerful screen and potentially some upgraded performance capabilities from the original Switch. This would make it primarily intended for hardcore gamers who are willing to spend more for a more intense gaming experience. According to the Wall Street Journal article, Sharp will be supplying IGZO display panels to Nintendo's new video game machines. The thing to note about these displays is that they will offer higher resolution in a thin form without consuming a lot of energy. However, neither Nintendo nor Sharp specified which Switch models would be getting the IGZO screens. If these screens are being used on a more powerful version of the Switch, it would be a huge jump in screen performance over what the current version uses. The original Nintendo Switch uses an NVIDIA Tegra X1 chip that was already outdated at the hybrid console's release. It looks as though NVIDIA is currently upgrading this processor, presumably for the Switch Pro or another Switch model. Now, these upgrades could make the Switch last longer, run cooler, or even perform faster. There's also the possibility that these upgrades are mostly taking place to make it harder to hack the Switch, as Nintendo has done before. We'll just have to wait and see. That's pretty much all I have for gaming news this week. On to the next segment. Because the news this week is a little light, I thought I'd share with you a little something special. A couple weeks ago, I had an opportunity to speak with a 19-year-old author, and, well, it's surprising how eloquent she is. Why don't you take a listen?
Sure, no issues.
Alright, here we go. And 3. Alright, I got a special guest on the show today. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, everyone. This is Ramsha Isa. I am a student at Loyola University Chicago studying software engineering and film productions. I'm also currently working on few novels which will be published soon, hopefully this year. So I have 3 back-to-back releases coming up, and I'm extremely excited to share what I have with you guys.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Your background, where you're from, things like
Sure.
that.
Yeah, so I came to US at the age of 7. I came from Pakistan. So I have a family in India and Pakistan, and I'm here since the age of 8, and now I am 19. So yes, it's been quite some time, and I feel that the kind of opportunities and the kind of work that I have got from here has been commendable. I consider myself very fortunate to receive so many different opportunities, whether it comes from education or personal development, other stuff. I just feel that I have access to a lot of different things that probably people who are my age from other countries don't have access to, and I kind of feel that being being from here and growing up here, I feel it is my responsibility to give back to the community and probably those people who don't have these many opportunities. So through my major, through the books that I'm writing and everything else that I'm working on, I'm trying to create a platform or a way in which I can use to give back to other people.
It's very commendable of you at such a young age, and you're doing so much. Uh, why don't you tell me and the audience why you're why you're on the show today? What are you trying to promote specifically?
Yes. So first of all, thank you so much for having me in your show. And I feel as an author and as someone who is writing women's fiction, I have a lot to share about the novels that I'm writing. The kind of novels that I'm writing are based on mental wellness, depression, and I kind of feel that even at this age and in our society today, a lot of people don't view mental condition as something that should get treated. Like from my research and from a lot of people that I have spoken to, I have learned that if you have a condition, or if you are dealing with depression, it is still considered as a condition that you can, you'll just get over it if you work more, or if you spend more time with your friends and family, you can get over it. Of course, yeah, maybe it can get better, but I feel that the if you are dealing with depression or any sort of mental condition, then you should go see the doctor and you should get the treatment. And my one of my novels is actually based on that. And I would love to talk about that. And then I'm working on this other novel, which is based on how education, especially women education, is it's not allowed in certain places in certain countries. Still, it is still looked down upon for women, especially to consider career of their choice. So I just feel that all of these things that I'm writing about, I should share whatever I'm writing about to my audience, so they can get to know about what I'm writing and where I'm coming from.
All right. Well, like I said, it sounds like you're doing a whole lot at such a young age. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the first book? What the title is, when you think you should be getting it published, when the audience can expect to actually be able to get a hold of a copy of it.
Yes, so my first book is called Rebel Against the Odds, and it is a collection of two short stories. And one of the stories, it's based on mother-daughter relationship. I can personally relate to it a lot because I am a teenager, so I can relate to it in a way that I have seen and experienced, a lot of clashes between families, and due to, career choices or other personal choices. So the first story is actually it's based on a mother-daughter relationship and how few decisions can cause massive destruction in their lives. And then the second story is it talks about the topic of how you don't have to be friends with, or you don't have to work with someone who comes from the same background or religion as you can make some lifelong relationships and friendships with people who are from different religions, from different backgrounds, because it really, it really helps come to people together and kind of help you get more knowledge of where the other person is coming from. So again, I these are it's a collection of two short stories, but I feel these are the topics that are very important to talk about, especially in the society that we live in right now.
All right. And when can people expect to be able to pick up this book? Is there a particular publisher you're going through? Are you self-publishing?
Yes, so August 20th is the release date, and I am self-publishing because I feel after doing a lot of research on my own, I feel it is a better option because you have the full right to your work. And although, yes, it is a lot of work from, not just writing, but editing, getting cover design, and also marketing, but I feel as long as your content is good, it will find its own place. And it's not that. I'll be honest, it's not that I had thousands of publishing deals lined up for me, although I had one or two, but it's my first book, and I kind of just wanted to see and want to see the kind of response that I get, and then go from there.
And so are you like going through, I know Amazon, you can do print on demand. Are you going through
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be Amazon. So KDP is one of the options. So it's print on demand. I'll be having a hard copy, like paperback version, as well as the ebook.
Cool. I know I'm writing a story myself. It's a young adult science fiction novel, so and publishing through Amazon is going to be my option for that. So I know exactly what you're going through right now as far as getting your first book out. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your second book?
So my second book is actually it's also my first novel, and like I previously mentioned, it is based on how pursuing education for women are is it's not like the way it is here. It's actually something that is looked down upon. So I did a lot of research, and even the kind of background that I come from has given me a lot of knowledge about how it is like in some of the other countries. So my second book is it's very close to my heart because I've actually gone through some of those things, especially when it comes to pursuing the kind of career that I'm actually going for. If I have mentioned before, I'm pursuing software engineering and film productions, and these fields are I have seen and heard from a lot of people that, oh, you're pursuing engineering, are you sure about your career choice? It's more for guys. And, oh, you're pursuing film productions, are you sure about that? So it's like a lot of people kind of associate certain fields with a specific gender, and I feel that is wrong, and it shouldn't be the case. And being someone who lives here, if I get to hear about all of these things, and if people judge me for what I'm doing, then I can only imagine how it is for people, and especially women who are living in these other countries and nations, the kind of struggle that they have to go through for pursuing education, picking the career that they actually want to pursue. It can be really really difficult for those people. And I have done a lot of research on it. Like I mentioned, I've watched a lot of different documentaries. I spoke to different organizations who actually help such people. I even spoke to some women who have gone through this phase. So there was a lot of research that went into it. And then I just thought it is my responsibility to kind of showcase the right depiction, the clear, picture of what is happening with them.
All right. Oh, it sounds great. It sounds like you really got a firm grasp on where you are right now and where you want to be in the future. As far as your education and these books that you're writing. Uh, just to wrap things up a little bit, is there places that the audience can find out more about you? Do you have like a website, or is there social media that people can follow you on?
Yes, so my website, well, I'm still working on my website, and it's going to be launched by next week. I do have a Facebook page and an Instagram account that you guys can follow me at. It's called Raisha Productions, and I will definitely send you the links to it, and it has all the information about my books. I want to engage with my audience. I want to know what they think about certain issues, whether it's social media or education or mental wellness, as well as a lot of other things, because I feel that the only way you can develop a strong connection with your audience is when you connect to them on a personal level, and have conversations with them. So I'm always and always looking forward to having more and more conversations with my audience and trying to get to know who they are, where they come from, as well as tell them about myself.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show with me, and I look forward to following you on social media. I'm sure at least some of my audience will be interested in following you and seeing those books come out.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
All right. Well, again, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, that's all I have for this week. On to the final thoughts. Before we get to the final thoughts, here's a few words from some other shows you might find entertaining.
Looking into the darkness, you can feel your heart racing. The heaviness of sorrow and dread take control, and the voice inside you says, "Don't go in there." Now join your hosts Ashley Ernie and Bill Reed as we venture down the weird and mysterious.
Find the Don't Go In There podcast on your favorite podcast listening app, and remember, don't go in there.
What's up, everybody? My name's Tim from the Shut Up and Dad podcast, and I hope you're enjoying this show. If you're looking for some laughs after you finish listening to this episode, come check out Shut Up and Dad. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and your favorite podcast platform by searching Shut Up and Dad, or simply head to our website, shutupanddad-podcast.com, where you can listen to episodes, read our blog, and find links to our show. That's shutupanddad-podcast.com.
Well, that's all I have for this week. Just to update you all on what I've been up to this past week, I sent in and then got back my Joy-Cons for my Switch console. It appears as if Nintendo simply replaced my Joy-Cons with new ones, since, according to the documents I received back with my controllers, they were unable to replicate the issue, which was the Joy-Con drift issue. I also decided to upgrade my Gears 5 pre-order to the Ultimate Edition, though I really wish I had the money to upgrade to the Ultimate Collector's Edition so I can get that sweet drone and the Collector's Edition ammo case. I've also been going to the Kingdom Boffing Association fights with a couple of boffer swords I put together, and I've been having a lot of fun making some new friends. Other than that, it's been a really slow week. If you have any comments or suggestions based on what I've covered this week, or if you have an idea you would like to see covered in a future episode, or even if you'd like to be on a future episode, there are several ways you can do that. You can email me directly at hazardousverbal@gmail.com. You can use the contact form on the Contact Us page at hazardousverbal.com, or you can leave a voice message over Skype. The Skype ID is Ichimoto1, that's ICHIMOTO1. You can also contact the show through any of our social media accounts. Again, that's pretty much all we have for this week. Until next time, this is Shiro-chan signing off. Peace.